What's up, guys, and welcome back to Harry's Place. I have with me Amor Evans.
Hi.
Amor and I know each other from Hong Kong, and she's a singer and a model and sometimes an actress.
Sometimes an actress, yeah.
She has now. You were saying to me today that you think you've experienced enough of it that you know it's not really your thing.
Well, like short films are fine, but
yeah,
that's it. Like artistic stuff, I don't know, just not feature films. They're just too long. So.
Well, I feel that was quite interesting because I spoke to a writer friend of mine, and we were saying because now he used to be my roommate. Shout out Nick Bain, in London 10 years ago, and we were saying that now both of us have been in the industry over 10 years. You see a lot of people, they have an idea of it, but they never, until you go away to do a movie for 3-4 months, you don't realize
how much actually goes into it,
or even go on tour for a theater for a few months. Most people they want that stability of being able to have a place, have regularity, and it's very unstable life.
Yeah, going on tour and stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, but
sure.
isn't it the same with music? If you
go on tour, same thing.
But at least it's your songs and it's
Yeah. Or even if you do gigs and stuff like that, it's still kind of... It's just nice to be able to perform. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So, you were also playing with this Rubik's Cube earlier.
Yeah.
Don't hide it. How's it going? Look, you almost...
Yeah, I know. I don't know. It's weird. I don't really know what I'm doing, but...
You've almost done it.
Seems
was the right way
seems
around.
to be working.
Yeah. What got you into that?
I like them. I don't know. I just kind of thought that it would be cool to amuse myself with something like this rather than staring at my screen, because I hate looking at my phone screen or any screen.
Do you feel like time passes really quickly when you do stuff like that?
No.
Really? You get frustrated?
I don't really feel like time passes fast. I just feel like I kind of get into it and I get lost in it, and then time kind of just seems to not exist. Yeah.
That's what I mean.
Yeah.
So, you are an interesting case. So you're also a Hong Kong girl, but you lived in London for a little bit, right?
Yeah.
When was that?
You mean before now? Yeah.
Before times.
From 2011 to 2015.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And were you working back then? Were you ready?
Yeah, kind of. I was so basically I did my BA, and then I came back because I got a scholarship for my master's. So I came back to do my master's, and I chose to do public relations.
Okay.
And then after my degree, after all the class was over and stuff, I just got really into the gym and started training a lot. And then I got a job at Gymbox as a receptionist. And then through that job, I just started training more, and then ended up competing, and then that's how I became a PT and all that. So I worked a little bit, but not
No, wait,
I didn't PT until I moved to Hong Kong.
You're quite humble with this, so I know you wouldn't say it. But you won a competition, no?
I came second.
Came second.
Yeah, I came second.
But
I
they
got
gave
my
you a pro card, and that's not easy to get, is it?
Apparently not.
Yeah, because you were saying so if you go into bodybuilding, there's 2 different branches, right? You have IFBB.
Yeah, there's a lot of federations, but some of the main ones are I think it's IFBB and then WBFF.
So you got your pro card for
WBFF.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's more the fashion kind of models and stuff. Mm-hmm. Do WBFF, it's more
How hard did you have to train for that? Was it easy?
No, I mean it's because there's a difference between the two as well. IFBB is more ripped.
Actually,
I feel
I was
their
watching...
bikini girls are so jacked compared to WBFF.
Yeah.
Well, I wasn't that big.
It was so interesting because I watched this documentary on bodybuilding recently, and that used to have that category, same with the women, that they could get as big as they wanted, and it was the men, and these women were getting huge.
Oh,
and then they said they got rid of that category, right? Because they wanted to focus more on that sort of leaner fitness physique, and I felt so bad for some of these women that had dedicated their lives to test their bodies and see how big they could get, just like the men, and now they're.
Yeah, but why would you want to? I don't know.
No, but I mean, but I think like preferences aside, you respect someone's dedication to something, and then just to take away their ability to show that, I think is brutal when it was once there. It was like you were once saying, yeah, you're a champion at this, and now you're saying, okay, we're not making a category for it anymore, so we don't really care. I think it's harsh.
Yeah, but I mean, the thing is, you can't just like do bodybuilding to only compete. I mean, that's not really what you do when you bodybuild. Like, obviously, it sucks that you can't compete anymore, but there's so many other things that you can be doing with your skill set, or whatever you want to call it.
Yeah.
With what you've done with your physique, like you can. There's always like other things you can do.
Yeah, no, I do. I guess
the credibility is kind of like important, but at the same time, what you look like.
I do agree. I think a lot of people, they a lot of people, especially now there's Instagram, they get so inspired by the fitness models and stuff like that, and they want something attainable. So I understand the focus more on the the bikini models, the male fitness models, which is totally different from those like mass gainer guys.
Yeah, but that's also not realistic kind of portrayal of what.
Oh really?
Yeah, definitely not.
What's this shaky head?
Well,
thing?
you have to.
What do you know?
Because you have to.
What's the inside secrets?
You have to diet before you go into these photo shoots, and not everybody it's not maintainable.
Yeah, it's just a split second.
Yeah, it's just like what people look like for a little while, and they go back to being a little bit, like especially if you're a female, like it's not healthy to be that lean. I mean, some of the girls do keep themselves that lean, but they usually suffer from like PCOS.
What's that?
Polycystic ovarian syndrome.
What does that mean?
It's basically like sometimes their periods stop completely. It's like a hormonal imbalance that happens when women lose too much fat. Apparently.
Oh, because
I don't really know if it's true, but like if you get too lean, like
Oh, and the body just
stuff,
says like, oh, you're not healthy enough to be pregnant, so we're
kind
gonna
of thing, yeah.
hold back. But the thing is, if you put on the weight, it should be okay once you've had that.
Depends. I mean, depends how much you've messed with your body. Some girls really struggle to get their health back, but like personally, I just think it's all down to nutrition. If you are depleted of a lot of nutrients, then you're like suffering from deficiencies, and your body's gonna be. So you have to like replenish them. But if you don't know how to, then even if you put the weight on, maybe you're not necessarily getting the right, like fixing your deficiencies. You're just putting weight on. You know what I mean? So it's all about. It's not a lot. It's like kind of. Yeah.
I mean, we were talking about this earlier, and I used to cut a lot of weight when I used to be a boxer, and then I learned those bad habits because I knew how to cut weight fast. I knew how to cut water weight fast. Yeah, all those little tricks, and I knew how to like sort of look good for a short period of time. So it was like for a film or something like that. But I did notice how unhealthy it was because I would bounce back. And then interestingly, I took a kind of like DEXA scan when I arrived in London 2 months ago, and it was saying, one of those like gripping machines. My gym had it, right, and it's like a standing gripping one. And my coach was telling me that I had somehow developed this ability to keep a lot of what's the fat stored like inside?
Visceral fat?
Yeah, visceral fat. And she goes, that's probably from like yo-yo dieting. Yeah.
Oh yeah. Yeah, because you stress your body out when you do that, so it stores visceral fat in your organs.
Visceral fat, exactly.
It's bad.
And because she was saying like there's some people who can actually be quite overweight but not have any visceral fat, and it's quite healthy. Whereas like you can be like me, right? And I don't have much fat like here, but all my fat's here, and that's incredibly unhealthy, especially if it's inside visceral fat. So what I would say, I was going to make another video on it, for people that do want to work out, is that they should think about it more in a very long-term, sustainable thing. And I was saying to you earlier, like I used to cut like 1,000, like 500 to 1,000 calories a day, like out of my normal. And like, I would feel sluggish, like I wouldn't be able to work out in the gym, but I would be motivated because I would see the weight drop off quickly. But a lot of that's muscle mass, and a lot of that's not
and water weight and stuff like that. And also like the fact that is getting stored. I mean, do you watch out for trans fats?
What's trans fat?
Shit, man. Are you serious?
Which one is trans fats?
Trans fats. I don't really know how to explain what they are. I don't really know what the
There's different
chemical...
fats, right?
No, it's like trans fats is like the worst fat that you can eat, and it's like hidden in so many foods, and it's like really, really hard fat to get rid of.
Interesting.
And that's the sort of fat, like visceral fat, for instance. I don't know. It's basically like really, really hard fat to burn. So
what's it usually in?
It used to be in like everything.
It's usually like high sugary food or what?
Fats.
High fats.
So like, I don't know, like prepackaged food. You know, I think it's something to do with... I don't really know why they started using trans fats, really, to be honest.
Because I know that...
I mean, I've read it before, but it's like, I can't remember.
Because I know when I'm really training for something, or I'm with a coach and I'm cutting, like when I was training for Fight Club in Hong Kong, we did a high protein, high fat diet.
Yeah,
right?
ketogenic.
But these fats would be in
that's whole
like
foods.
yogurts.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah,
it's different.
That's what I'm saying.
You can get trans fat in yogurt though.
But you can get the 0% yogurt. Like I like the
Faye.
Yeah, how do you say it?
Faye.
Is that how you say it?
Apparently, but I call it phage or
I used to call it like, but it's got the thing on the E, right?
Yeah,
so it's like for J.
For J.
For J.
But they always have like a little thing at the bottom that says pronounced Faye.
Oh, I never saw that.
Yeah.
Should look closely at the packaging.
But they've only got like 5% now. They don't have like full. Like, I think
0%? Yeah,
they've got 0% and then they've got 5%, but they don't have like just the normal one. Which I'm upset about.
Why?
Because full fat's so much better than...
Okay.
Especially if you're doing ketogenic diet. Because you want the fat. It's healthy.
So,
well, I don't have dairy, but it would be.
Little... Yeah. Well, I mean, on a side note, for those who are interested, you told me a funny term I wanted to share with everyone today as well.
What?
Because I'm vegetarian, and you went vegan for a little bit, but you're not.
Yeah, I was vegan for quite a bit. Yeah. I even went fruitarian. I was like raw vegan. I'm a fruitarian.
But then you told me a new term I never heard today, which was the vegan.
Oh, vegan.
And it's someone who's a vegan but eats eggs.
Well, it's another name for like over vegetarian.
Okay.
There's like a lot of names for it, but some people call it vegan, which is quite funny. Yeah. I think it's a bit lame.
I thought it was quite. I thought it made me chuckle.
Yeah.
Okay, so interestingly.
But I'm plant-based.
And definitely, if you're interested to learn more, do hit us up in the comments, and I can always link you with more. The best way to follow her is on her Instagram, and I can put that in the comment section
YouTube.
as well. Oh, you got a YouTube channel?
Yeah.
When did you do that?
Ages ago.
But do you still use it? When's your last post?
Yeah. A couple days ago.
Okay, respect.
Yeah.
Respect. All right.
Come on.
Okay, shout out. Check out her YouTube channel. Okay, so one thing that I wanted to talk about as well was how you got into fitness. You told me was as a direct. It stemmed from a desire to improve your mental health. Is that right?
Not well, kind of. It wasn't like a desire. Like I didn't do it because I wanted to improve my mental health, but it was kind of like something I felt really drawn to just because I wanted stability. I wasn't really thinking about my mental health. I was more just thinking about what can I do to feel better. Because I didn't really know what was going on at the time because I was just feeling really like down. Yeah.
See, like we get more into that, especially your reasons, but I do feel just from that, a lot of people, when you talk about sustainability, I think especially artists, because we don't have a set routine usually, I think having some sort of discipline, especially if it's like a class that you attend to that has to be the same time every day, then it does give you some sort of routine and discipline that can... but you do train regularly, especially when you're...
Yeah, I train for sure, but like...
But I just mean, but even if you were with a personal trainer or whatever, it would be the sort of roughly the same time every day, or you would have your preferred time, and
yeah, like train in the afternoon.
Yeah, that's what I mean. And I think training can give you some sort of structure. You don't have to do it because you want to compete. You don't have to do it because you want to look a certain way. I think there's some people that would really benefit just from having that. You know, because the thing is you have 24 hours in a day. Let's say you sleep. A lot of people don't sleep 8 or 9, but let's say you did. You know, you still have a lot of time in the day, and it's only an hour. You work out for an hour a day, you're doing great.
If you give yourself like the right nutrition and you give yourself foods that are easy to digest, then you don't usually need to sleep for more than 5 hours a night. You can be fine.
I don't know if I agree with that, but
there have been studies.
No, I do agree that nutrition will make you sleep better. I do think you still need more than 5 or 6 though, ideally.
No. Well, when I was on my like super strict like diet, I wasn't able to sleep for more than 4 hours without waking up, and like I couldn't sleep. Like I actually would wake up and be like, I have so much time. Like waking up at like 5 o'clock in the morning, just not knowing what, you know.
How much coffee were you on?
None. Absolutely no coffee.
What do you drink? Oatmeal coffee?
No. This is
now you.
No. I'm talking about when I was in, you know, when I had a really, really strict diet. I couldn't sleep for more than, that's not right now, but at the time I couldn't sleep for more than 4 hours. Now it's kind of like I can get by with 5, but I've been sleeping a lot more recently.
There was something that it was something that I was really curious about, and I remember looking into it and looking into different sleeping patterns, and I remember reading somewhere that traditionally some people, or like in Old England, apparently people used to sleep earlier and then they'd wake up at like midnight or something, and then they would like
do stuff,
meet and hang out, and then they'd go back to bed.
Sleep,
so they would like sleep twice. And but it's like later than a siesta. It's like you sleep, and then I was also reading about Leonardo da Vinci, who would sleep. He would like never do long sleeps. He would only sleep 3 hours. Yeah. And then be awake 6 hours and sleep 3 hours, awake 6 hours.
Did you read about Tesla?
No.
Tesla did the same thing with like 2 hours or like 20 minutes or something. I don't know. He would do like 20-minute naps throughout the day, which would come up to like 2 hours total sleep every day. You just kept like
napping. Yeah.
Something like that. Don't quote me on it because I could be completely wrong.
I mean, I do think it's interesting. I think most of those guys they're quite cerebral. I do think for your body though you do need. I mean, I really never. I do. The more I look into it, the more I see, you know, trainers and the advice and that people overlook is the power of sleep, the power of recovery.
Yeah.
So I don't want to put it out there like, guys, you only need 20 minutes, and then everyone's like fatigued.
Yeah, no, of course not. But I think if you like ended up only sleeping for maybe 5 hours and then you had like an afternoon nap and that was your life, because I do that.
And you were good.
Yeah, I sleep for like maybe like around 5 hours and then I'll have like a little nap in the afternoon. Sometimes I don't get the nap, no, but it's okay.
One thing as well that I was saying, because compare with you, is I'm also quite a big believer in never taking a rest day, but people misunderstand that and thinking that I'm going hard every day, but it's not. I think, because I sometimes feel that people's rest days is like they do nothing, and the thing is like you might feel even more sore because your body's just done nothing.
Well, stretching.
Yeah, well, like stretching.
Everyone's supposed to be stretching on their rest day.
Going on a little walk or whatever, you know. But I think some people would be like, "Oh, that's not resting," but for me, it's still active rest.
It is resting.
Yeah. It
is resting because if you're not, you know, if you're not doing what's in your program, it's resting.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, and it also depends on your level, right? Because I could do it. I could do a yoga class or like a spin class, and I'd consider that still.
No.
Part of my rest day.
Well, if it's high intensity training, then yeah, it's not part of your rest day. But if it's anything that's like steady state, then it's part of your rest day. So the yoga can be, you know, moderate cardio.
But I mean, yoga can get. I mean, that's the thing is like.
It depends which yoga though.
Yeah, exactly. But I've included a lot more calisthenics, right? And calisthenics is easy. Yeah, it's easier to recover for because it's body weight. But the thing is massively stressful on the tendons and things. But
only if you're heavy.
Well, I mean,
You know what I
when you
mean?
want to do full strength stuff, you know, you want to like learn how to planche, or you learn how to like, you know,
Yeah, but you
you're
have
working
to,
on muscle ups
you
and
have to
stuff.
build up to
You
that,
have to build it
though.
up to it, but I think
mean,
your body's able to recover better, and so I still factored those in on my rest days.
Yeah, I think your body's able to adapt faster to body weight exercises because it's kind of like, you know, you're trying to like move your own weight and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know, I think calisthenics and gymnastics and stuff is like the supreme.
Yeah, but what do you? But
Being athletic.
but don't you think it's true what they say about stunting growth?
No.
Like you don't think a lot of gymnasts are, especially when they start from a young age, are like a little stunted?
Well, the funny thing is, right, you look at them and they're all really, really young anyway.
Yeah.
So they're supposed to be little.
True.
They're not like midgets. I mean, they're like,
True.
you know.
I mean, the thing is, I mean, if
They're still alright size. Not like they're really tiny. They're just...
You know, one thing I think that a lot of people don't realize is when you look at YouTube, you look at Instagram, a lot of the guys that are absolutely fantastic at calisthenics, bar work, stuff like that, they're actually quite small guys.
Yeah, they are quite short.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you rarely get, you know, a guy who's like 6'3" who's really good at it. Now there are some guys who are, and I think they're amazing to watch, amazing to follow their training, but they've also started from a very young age. And then when you look at them, you can also say like, well, you know, it clearly didn't stunt your growth because you were 6'3", you know?
Yeah, so I think it's just more like, I don't know.
I'm just a big fan of having that body control and movement.
Yeah, you can get it. Anyone can do it. It's just about dedication and discipline.
Yeah. So you still train? Like what's your motivation? Just health?
This makes me feel good. I find that if I don't train for a couple of days, I start to get depressed. Just like can't like not be active.
Do you think that's just the hormonal side, like the endorphins, or you think it's a routine thing?
No, it's more like an energy thing. Like I have so much energy, and if I don't have an outlet for it, it can implode. Like it turns into thoughts. So like if it's not expressed like in a way, it'll just express itself in another way. So they turn into thoughts, which I don't need.
What is there a way that you could put that maybe into some creativity, or do you feel that like they're different kinds of energy? Like do you think working out makes you more creative as well? And if you don't work out, then you can't be creative. That kind of thing.
I think working out just keeps me in a healthy state where I feel like I'm going somewhere. Because that's always what training has been for me. It's always been like something achievable. Something that's like I've got goals and I can reach them and I can see progress and I can see... what's that word? No, leave this one.
Okay.
I can see progress and I can see... What's the saying?
What?
Like I can actually see results, you know what I mean? And
Yeah.
it feels good because it feels like you're being successful. That makes sense.
So this is...
Because like the industry that I'm in is hard. Like you get a lot of rejection. You get a lot of failure. So
especially doing what you're doing.
Exactly. So
yeah.
to have something in your life that's kind of like, well, at least I can do this, you know. It's kind of it's easy to forget about the rest of it because I feel okay in my body and feel like I'm taking care of myself. It's like it's more like staying like loyal to myself. You know, not sacrificing my health for...
Because you're taking care of
anything.
yourself, yeah.
Yeah. Because when I don't take care of myself, I feel like shit, you know? I feel really guilty. I don't know why, but I just do. I'm just like, ugh.
So there's two things in that. I remember listening to Jordan Peterson, who's, you know, he's a thinker. And he said something that I really liked, which I was telling you about earlier. He was the one that was saying that for self-esteem purposes, sometimes we overshoot and we put too much pressure. So if we put it in the big example, the gym example, for example, and you can apply this to any part of your life, is we come in and we're like, this is what I want to be. I want to be able to bench 200 kilograms, right? And you can have a coach, like, if you don't have someone tell you, you know, you can be like, I want to bench 200, and like you're going to put 100 on the bar and you're not ready for it, and then you fail, and you're like, but it's not even halfway to what I want to be, and I'm failing at this. God, I just feel like a failure. And he was saying, which I think is so applicable to so many things, is we just got to be really honest with ourselves. And sometimes just, especially on the days where, when you're really honest and something is brutal and something that's painful, where you just be like, look, where are we right now? I can barely pick up the bar, but that's what I should do. Yeah, I can wish that I could put some weight on. Yeah, I wish I was already at a further stage. And I'm sort of too proud to only pick up the bar, right? But that's where I need to be today. And then maybe tomorrow I start making leap and bounds. And the thing is, once you're on that progression, you can start, progressing rapidly. But a lot of people get stuck at that starting phase because it's too painful, especially when you were once good at something, right? Especially when you were once good and you're like, oh, I used to do this and now I can't even do that. I can't bear to think that I have to start,
about that sort of like thinking confuses me. I mean, because it's like you've already got there, so you already know that you can achieve it. It's kind of like, isn't that enough motivation to just do it anyway?
Yeah, but I've met people.
Yeah, I know, but those people have problems. Like they like to torture themselves.
Yeah, and I think it's unnecessary.
Yeah, of course it's unnecessary, but they will not agree with you.
No, but that's what I'm saying. The solution for that is to really see where you're at and go from there, no matter how painful that is. Just accept the state that you're at, and then you can progress. Because until you accept that, you can't progress, and you're going to waste time, you're going to waste energy.
It's about changing your perspective. So rather than looking at it and saying, oh, this is what I want, and I want it right now, it's like, that's what I want, and this is what I'm doing to get there. Rather than just like, if that makes any sense.
Yeah.
That whole the journey of 1,000 miles starts with the first step or whatever.
But what I find interesting about that is it's not just, so let's say like exercise, right?
Yeah.
If you haven't done it for years, right? Yeah. And you first get back into it, doing 10 push-ups is hard.
Of course.
Right? And then you look at someone that's doing 1,000 push-ups and doing this and this and this, you're like, wow, I can't imagine doing that much volume, and lifting that much weight. But the thing is, the improvement will get so much faster because your ability to stack onto it will improve faster. So it's not like because I think the problem with the journey of 1,000 steps is like every single step is the same, right? But it's not. I feel it's like, you start off crawling, but by the 1,000th step you're sprinting.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. But I just mean like sometimes it just feels like, okay, you've done one step, now the next 1,000 steps are going to be exactly the same, and it's just.
Well, it never said that. That's just you assuming with that.
No. I know some people assume that.
Oh really?
Yeah.
Never heard anyone say that to me. But then again, I don't really say this to much people, so.
Well, the people that you've trained, what are they mostly like? Like people that you trained, they want to get in shape because of what? Because of like a wedding or a special occasion, or they just want to feel better. They just want to get back into it and take care of themselves. Really, they just want to, they're invested in their self-health, self-care. Yeah. Well, I mean, don't you think that's? I think that's the biggest thing as well. I think because Instagram is so huge right now, you see all these like fitness models, and like you said, like that's not something that's easily sustainable. Whereas I think our image of what's healthy and what's sustainable is a little bit warped. I think you can have an entirely functional and healthy body, and you don't have to like be on this crazy diet just to get a six-pack. Like a six-pack isn't like the only sign of being healthy. Yeah. Yeah?
But some people want it. I mean, okay. Should I really say this on a podcast? I don't really know. I don't really know if I could be like, I'd need, if I was looking for a potential partner, they would need to be, what?
They need to be six-packy.
Yeah.
I think that's fair, but that's your preference, though.
Yeah, I mean, I want somebody with that level of dedication. I just like, because I want somebody who's gonna push me to do it as well. I mean, like I don't want someone who's gonna be like, oh no, don't train, like spend time with me. I want someone who's gonna be like, get your ass to the gym.
Yeah.
Because I need that in my life.
Yeah.
So I need somebody who's maybe a little bit more ripped than me. Right?
Okay. Yeah. Well, I mean, I think that's
because I don't have a 6-pack. Whatever. It's like, yeah.
I think that's preference. I mean, I've seen you pretty ripped before. You get it back pretty quick.
Yeah, I could do, but I mean, I don't know. I just feel like also with the whole, I just think being healthy should be everybody's priority.
Mm-hmm.
Because you can't do anything 100% if you're not healthy.
Mm-hmm.
If you're not taking care of yourself, and that's like mentally, physically, spiritually, like you have to, you know, find a balance between those three and just.
So that's why for me, the biggest thing that I get from training is my mental health.
Yeah.
Is the discipline that it provides me, the routine it gives me, that feeling of constant progress.
Yep.
Not chasing any particular numbers, but just feeling that I'm always improving.
Going somewhere. Yeah, improving. Yeah.
I mean,
Growth
I do have like little goals that I'd like to tick off. You know.
Yeah.
Like I'd love to be able to do the splits.
Yeah, exactly.
It's like a life goal.
Yeah.
I'd love to be able to do a planche. Muscle up. Oh, still bothering me. I'm so embarrassed. I've done CrossFit for like 5 years. I still can't muscle up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I want to do one of those things where like, you see them doing the monkey bars where they pull, and then they go up into a handstand.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
That'd be sick.
Yeah. How's your handstand?
Yeah, I can do it really well now.
Can you handstand push up?
Yeah, I did. Well, only against the wall, and then I can do like maybe 1 or 2 freehand, but that's it.
That's good. That's great. That's great. I mean, even my little sister, she's a yoga teacher now. Yeah. I remember when she first tried to do a push up, she was like, "Oh my god, it's the hardest thing ever."
Yeah, and now she's just like,
now she's like, "Why did I find this hard?" She's pumping it out, and now her handstand as well is fantastic.
Yeah, mine are not that stable still though. I really need to work on it.
That's why
holding it for like, you know.
Yeah, that's why I like cross training in different disciplines. I mean, because CrossFit, a lot of it is focused on, you know, being able to walk. Whereas like when they do handstands in yoga, the form is so great. It's like gymnastics.
Yeah, that's what I think.
Like you said, it goes back to gymnastics is like the peak of body control.
Yeah.
Actually, do you know
calisthenics too?
Do you know Ido Portal?
Yeah, I know Ido Portal.
So Ido Portal posted something the other day. I thought was so fantastic.
What?
Was he was doing like his flow, and then he ended up doing like this windmill trick. And he was like, that came like very naturally because I had the body control, not because I was trying to do a trick. Whereas like some people learn a trick, but they never learn the body control, right? Because they just practice a trick and then they get good at doing that trick, but they never have that like understanding and control of their body. And I think that's
the peak of athleticism.
Yeah, I think
Yeah, I agree. Yeah. I want to be just like that. I want to be a ninja.
You want to be a ninja?
Yeah.
The biggest thing I would say against you being a ninja is your hair would give you away. Like that, you just see your hair a mile away.
They find that I should be a samurai.
I could see you as a samurai.
Yeah, because they had these to do. Yeah.
Well, the geishas were killers. Could be. You had geisha killers. Okay, what else about your? No, because there's so much I wanted to cover with you. Tell me more about about mental health things, because I do find that it correlates so much, mental and physical health. Partly because of the endorphins, but as an actor, I've met so many people that struggle with mental health. And it's interesting coming from Hong Kong, because in Hong Kong, it seems like the culture, and even in England compared to America, a lot of people, it's not a thing if you see a shrink. Right? It's not a thing if you feel like you need to talk to someone because you have these issues.
What do you mean it's not a thing?
Like no one makes a big deal about it.
Oh, like it's like a normal thing.
Yeah, it's
kind of thing.
totally normal. Whereas like in England, like I feel it's still it's still a possibility to go see a psychiatrist, to go see a shrink, but in Hong Kong it's like it's just not there.
It's not there at all in
option.
Hong Kong.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I do see the value in offloading.
Yeah.
I see the value in exercise, but I also see the value in offloading. But I don't know. What are your thoughts? I mean, you've had a lot of PT clients. You're around other artists.
Yeah. So what do I think about what you mean?
And you're also a Hong Kong girl. Just like when you first had when you first started like facing rejection or whatever, how did you cope with it, or how did you?
From like when I was a kid.
Or yeah, I mean in general.
Well, I was, because of the circumstances, I was very internal.
Mm-hmm.
And always just pretended to be fine. And never told anybody about what was going on.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, I just kind of suppressed it and just dealt with it and didn't tell anybody. I became very like isolated and.
Were you always sort of athletic?
Yeah.
So it was always part of your like routine.
No, it was always like I was just always like a very active kid. Like could never like stop moving. Like, I always had to like be moving around doing something crazy.
Mm-hmm.
Like, and I was always doing somersaults and like cartwheels and shit everywhere. Like it's always been in me to be a monkey. So yeah.
And how about singing? Have you always been a singer?
Oh yeah, I've always been a singer.
Do you think it's a true saying that all Filipinos can sing?
No. Definitely not.
That's true. I know one or two, but they're actually mixies. Most of the pure blood Filipinos I know are singers. Like
no, the ones that I know are definitely pure, and they definitely
need work. Need work.
Yeah, yeah.
I think it's also because like why do you think that's the case? That Filipinos are such good singers?
I think I don't really think they are.
Oh really?
I mean, I think they are, but at the same time, I think it's just like maybe because it was more part of our culture to do that. So it's like when you grow up, like there's like a big singing culture in the Philippines.
That's what I mean. Yeah. I mean, for me, like
it's like nurtured, you know.
Yeah, it's nurtured. And they have so many competitions. My gosh.
Yeah, like all the time. You're like encouraged to do it.
Yeah.
You know, from when you're a kid, anyway.
Yeah, and pageants as well. I remember talking to some Filipino models, and they were like, yeah, we're so prepared for this because there's just
a whole life.
It's like so many back to back. You're just so ready for it.
It's so normal. My mom was doing it.
Yeah.
My mom did it as well. So like doing the WBFF was kind of like doing what she did in a way.
Pageanty.
Mm-hmm. She was beauty queen.
Oh, was she?
Yeah, she was beauty queen.
She teach you the way.
And she met my dad at one of the shows.
Oh, really?
Actually, yeah,
amazing.
that's how they met.
What's your dad doing at the show?
He was the
Passing
judge.
through? Oh, he was judging. Amazing. So did he pick her as a winner?
I'm not really sure if he was like judging it that one that they formally met at, but he'd been to ones before where she, I think.
Fantastic. Yeah, I think for me, as well. I think part of the culture, but I also think that, like, it's also like the religious culture as well, because when you hear a Filipino choir, it's kind of like gospel, right? It's very like happy, clappy. You know, it's very like poppy, and then you can see how that, you know.
Well, there's like a lot of like Filipinos now in the music industry, like mixies.
Yeah.
Like, what's her name? Haley Stein.
No. Oh no. You started it. You had to finish it. You look it up. Bruno Mars as well. Bruno Mars.
Yeah, Bruno Mars, Nicole Scherzinger.
Yeah, Scherzinger. Yeah.
I'm telling you, it's like so many of them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So the next one. So what's the process for singing? You got to do an EP.
Well, the main thing that I'm focusing on now is just like what sort of artist do I want to be? Like, who am I?
Mm-hmm. Find your sound.
I mean, yeah, not just finding my sound, but finding like my I don't know how you explain it.
Because one thing I found really interesting. So because yesterday I was at Book of Mormon, right? And like you go to these West End shows and they're amazing singers, but you must have to, like, aren't they also tempted to make albums and things like that, or do you think it's different type of singing?
There's different type of singing. Like some people just sing because they like to sing other people's songs, but like being a composer and a songwriter is like a completely different thing. Some people only songwrite for other people. Some people songwrite and sing their own songs. Like there's different types of people, anyways. But I think the reason why, like, I don't even know.
But I mean, let's say I was a teenager and everyone's like, "Oh, you're a great singer." Like, I guess it's your preference, like, to be, oh, do I want to get into musicals? Do I want to join a band? Do I want to go solo? Do I want to find a group?
Yeah, I never even had that choice though, because I didn't even.
But that's what I mean. Like, how do you even go about that? Because I know nothing about. I only know about acting.
Well, I haven't really gone about it like that. I haven't. Well, the way that I did it was just so random. Like totally, not even the way people usually do it.
And you were telling me as well that you write your own lyrics?
Yeah, I write all my own songs and stuff. But I mean, it's just it's hard right now because I don't really want to go into the industry and be this, blank canvas. I want to walk in there with like, a good idea of what I'm about.
That's good. I like that.
Before anyone has the chance to like try and tell me who I am, because I think it's really important as an artist to know exactly who you are and not to get lost in other people's opinions of you and what people think you should be doing, because that's what happens so easily. So not losing that sense of self, but actually having that sense of self, which is why I kind of need to figure out what am I about, what do I want to, what do I believe in, what am I doing this for, what's my purpose, like, what am I going to write about, why am I writing about it? It doesn't really have to be that deep, but I kind of have to have like a good idea of like what I'm going to say yes to and what I'm going to say no to.
What kind of subjects do you write about?
Mostly dark stuff, like sadness and depression and like, that sort of thing, pain.
So which would you pick first? Did you find drawn to a certain type of music and then you were writing lyrics for that kind of music, or were you just writing the lyrics and then you're like, well, now I'm going to have to, I would sing it like this. You know what I mean? What comes first, the music or the words?
Either or sometime. It just comes out. Like, sometimes I'll be strumming, like, some chords, and then I'll just, like, come up with a melody, and there'll be words attached to the melody. And sometimes it'll just be, I'm writing lyrics and stuff. I write a shitload of lyrics, and I already know how it's going to go in my head, and then I figure out the chords based on that. It's always different.
Yeah.
But I don't know, like learning how to write music is not really that straightforward. Like I got a book to try and help me figure out how to make them really good, because the worst thing in a song is just like cliches. Yeah. And my old songs are like full of them. It's terrible. It's really terrible. Actually, I listen to them now and I'm like, ugh.
Actually, it's one of the reasons why I firstly with that is okay. I mean, it's a great sign that you're improving, but I also don't. I think to encourage people to be creative, I always think like that metaphor of going to the gym and picking up the bar. Just write, even if it's shit. Like don't hold back. That's what I do. I know, but a lot of people hold back from being creative because they don't want to do anything unless it's good.
You're afraid to fail.
Exactly. Afraid to fail.
Yeah.
Whereas, like, I think you got to embrace that journey and just fuck up a lot of times.
Yeah, there's gonna be a lot of shit songs before the good ones come out. Just gotta get it all out, which is what I've been doing recently, just trying to get it all out. Yeah. Yeah, it's kind of hard though when you look back though and you read the stuff that you wrote and you're just a bit like, well, that was interesting.
But what you were saying about cliches, I thought was so interesting because.
Why?
when I went to see Hamilton, the musical, that's one of the things that really popped out for me, was that it was just, I'd never seen or imagined a whole musical like all in rap. And the thing is, it was all, like, you're so used to musicals having like certain melody and finishing in a certain way and having, you know, certain combinations, and this was just so like offbeat and so kept you like guessing and engaged, and it was just so fresh and original. I was just like, I was blown away. You have to go see it. You have to.
I must.
You must. I insist.
Okay, if you insist, then I shall go.
Well, on that, what accent do you have?
The international accent.
Yeah, the
of course.
international accent.
Yeah.
But it's not American.
No.
Did people confuse it for American?
Yeah.
Why don't you have an English one?
Because I don't want to have an English one.
But you can do it.
Of course I can do it.
Interesting. But the international, it's not like you're thinking about it, it just comes out. That's how you sound. As a Hong Kong kid.
Wow.
Because a lot of people who aren't from Hong Kong or whatever, they're like, what's this international accent?
Yeah, I know.
And they just think, like, isn't that American?
Yeah, of course they do. But, like, I don't know. Like, sometimes I have to be really careful because when I'm speaking to people, especially if I'm speaking to, like, a group of English people, my accent can go really British.
Okay.
And when I'm drunk, like, which I don't do anymore, but when I was drunk, I would always go really British. Like, really posh.
Yeah. Like you were
like
to
my
say.
dad. It's so embarrassing.
It all comes out.
It all comes
Do you have
out.
a preference?
No, I don't have a preference, but everyone says it's nicer when I speak with my...
Proper?
No, with my international accent.
You know what
They say that this one doesn't suit me.
You know, one thing I find extremely strange about accents is the English accent. When I slip into the English accent, I find that it only works if we're in close proximity.
Yeah.
Because if it's noisy or if I'm in a crowd, people can't hear me as well. When I do my American, it's so much clearer when it's like louder. I don't know, it carries better. It's like English.
I was gonna say something really rude just then, but
but I feel
tongue.
like the English one, it's more precise. I mean, I don't know.
Also makes you sound like a twat. No, I'm kidding.
No, but because even my name, if I'm like, oh, I'm Harry.
Oh, my name is Harry.
I'm like Harry.
My name is Prince Harry.
I'm Harry.
Harry.
Oh.
I don't say Harry. I say Harry.
No, but that's what I do if they can't hear it. They're like, what, Aaron? Huh? I'm like, Harry. It's hard. It's hard to say.
Just say Harry. Yeah.
Yeah.
Harry.
And how are you liking London compared to Hong Kong? What's the biggest difference?
Well, I fit in here.
Yeah?
No one stares at me. Well, I still get stared at, but I don't get stared at as much as I don't feel like the odd one out.
You got stared at in Hong Kong?
People stare at me all the time
Why?
for my big hair.
Because your big hair.
Which I have tied right now, so you can't even see it, but...
Is it bigger in Hong Kong because of the humidity?
No. Nope.
It's always big.
It's always big.
You always had big. Have you ever cut it?
Yeah.
How old were you? Years ago?
No, I had to cut it a couple years ago.
But how short did you go?
Here.
Did you?
Yeah.
I can't imagine you in the short hair.
Yeah. Yeah.
Is it hard to wash?
Nope.
Or is it like, imagine, like, it must take so much time.
No.
And drying it.
I just let it air dry.
Like Rapunzel.
Yeah, like Rapunzel. I want it to be down to my knees. I'm kidding. It's quite long. But can you imagine if I had like all my hair like down to here? It'd be so crazy, just like...
I've seen you with some pictures with absolutely massive hair.
Yeah.
You look like a lion.
I know.
Lioness.
Lioness, yeah.
Huh. All right. Well, so you don't get stared at. You feel like you fit in terms of what? Like just because of the hair? No. What else?
Just
What do you
because
mean
of
fit
who I
in?
am. Like, there's more like artsy people around here. Weird people.
Do you feel like
not pretentious people like there's in Hong Kong, like everywhere.
But do you feel that Hong Kong is suffering, like artistically, culturally?
Yeah.
Why is that? In your opinion?
Because people really aren't open-minded there. They're kind of brainwashed into thinking this is the way, and that's it.
You mean making money is the only way? Like only grade of sort of success or happiness? Because I think that's, if you...
No, but...
I don't want to sound like a total jock to like relate everything to like fitness, but it's almost like if you lived in a society where everyone was like, the only measure of fitness is you have to have a six-pack, right? But you have other people who are like maybe incredibly strong but don't have a six-pack. You have other people that are like, maybe incredible dancers or body strength or whatever, or have these incredible other athletic attributes but don't have a six-pack. And yet if you put them in this like one category fits all, this is the only measure of success, then all their successes, all those other attributes are just not valued. And I feel that's a little bit like Hong Kong, because they only value the success, and I think it mostly comes down to rent, property prices, because it's so expensive that everyone has to make money to afford rent. So everyone's saying the measure of happiness, of success in Hong Kong is how much money you earn. Boom, just like that.
No, but that's not what I meant. I meant like people's like standards of like beauty or good art, if that makes any sense.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I feel like I'm more valued here than I am there. Do you get me?
Because of their standards of beauty.
Yeah, because they actually appreciate diversity and and they just appreciate like art for what it is here, whereas there it's kind of like the amount of people that actually understand art isn't like so like I don't know how to explain it, but they just like they have one way of doing things and they like the way that they do things, and they're not really open to like other stuff.
Do you think that's important? To be more open-minded, or to have...
Yeah, of course.
Why?
Because you can't appreciate something if you've already judged it.
No,
based on what you think is good or what you think isn't good. It's just like, why don't you just see?
No, so that's what I'm saying. Like hypothetically, or devil's advocate, if you will. If I'm like, this is my standard, this is what I like in terms of beauty and art, and it works for me, then what's the problem? And if you don't fit into that category, I don't appreciate you, it's my loss, right? But if it's already working for me, what's the problem?
What do you mean?
Like, there is art that I like, there is beauty that I like, and it's already there for me.
Yeah, exactly, but then they everyone only accepts like one way. They are kind of like brainwashed.
Yeah.
Through the media. Into what beauty looks like, and what success looks like, and what a happy life looks like, when they're so out of tune with themselves. And they become one of those zombies that walks around.
Yeah, I'm a big. I mean, it's part of my sort of my life philosophy to encourage diversity. It's part of my life. Have you heard about Crazy Rich Asians?
Yeah, I heard of it. I have no idea what the fuck it is.
Oh, really?
I don't know what it is.
It's not out in
Asia?
In London until November. It's out in Asia already.
Why isn't it out in London?
I have no idea. It's not out till November. It's crazy. But yeah, no, it was this incredibly popular book, and it's now made into a film, and it's like the first film in 25 years, I think, since Joy Luck Club, that is starring just Asians. So it's a huge thing for...
it's a big deal.
Yeah, it's a big deal. But then did you also hear... I also read recently that Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson is going to be playing King Kamehameha, the Hawaiian king. It's like this historical drama. And a lot of people are upset that... there are many descendants of the king, and it should go to like a proper Hawaiian, could portray it better. I don't know, what are your thoughts on that?
I think The Rock has enough money already, and it would be more of a reason to watch it if the person playing it was actually a descendant.
Interesting.
I would be more inclined to watch it because of the authenticity of having somebody who's actually a direct descendant of the emperor?
The king.
The king.
Mm-hmm.
As long as he was a good actor.
Yeah, so the
He
way...
was a shitty actor, then no.
But the way that
Obviously.
I feel about it is The Rock is doing this film now, right?
Yeah.
And because The Rock is doing it, you've heard about it.
No, well, only because you told me.
No, but I mean, so many more people will hear about this film, and will get to experience, some of the history and culture of Hawaii that they would normally have never known about.
Yeah.
And so, without The Rock to latch onto that vehicle, it's not going to go as far.
Well, why couldn't he just be another part? Why does he have to be the king? Why can't he play a different part in it and still be in it? I mean, come on. There's so many different options.
So you're saying you want him to still help the film, but not be one of the main guys. So that's interesting.
Why not? I mean, if he's Hawaiian and he cares about it so much.
Oh, he's Samoan.
He's Samoan.
Yeah, but still Polynesia, right?
Well, yeah. I mean, that's another thing. Like, if he's not even Hawaiian, man. I know. I mean, it doesn't really matter that he's not actually Hawaiian, but then again, like, if they had a really good actor who was a direct descendant of that king and was Hawaiian, I mean, come on, like.
Yeah, I mean, but then there's those arguments.
fair.
But then there's those arguments of maybe that film wouldn't have got funding. It wouldn't get the distribution. It wouldn't get the marketing because you don't have a big name. And why would The Rock want to do it unless it's a big part?
It's because he cares about the purpose of the film.
Yeah.
He believes in the reason behind making it.
I think it's a fair argument. So interestingly,
Maybe, I don't know.
interestingly, on another episode when I was talking to my friend Simon, this was the case for The Great Wall, right? Matt Damon was in it, right? But he wasn't the hero. The heroes were the Chinese guys. But Matt Damon still got so much shit for being like a poster boy of The Great Wall when he was a white guy, when they were like, oh my god, it should be an Asian. But Simon was saying that...
Yeah, but he's a completely different race. I mean, like, The Rock is Polynesian.
Oh, so you're saying Great Wall is worse. But I'm saying Great Wall...
I'm saying Great Wall is fine. I'm not saying anything's wrong with it.
No, but I'm saying
like,
Great Wall is doing what you're suggesting, which is take a smaller role.
Oh, but he got
and
shit for
promote,
it.
And he got shit for it anyway.
I don't understand why he got shit for it. I understand why people might be like... I understand why they would make up issues from it, because there are some people that just find any reason to be offended.
Yeah.
There are people like that
Yeah,
exist.
people,
And they just want to make problems for no... why? Why do they do that? I don't know. It's really irritating.
Well, it's easy to smash things when you're on the keyboard.
Yeah, but it's just like... Why the bad vibes?
Yeah, I agree. But do you get that in the music industry? I mean,
What?
it's different because it's singing. You don't have that face in front of you. You don't have this like, oh, this is, like, because when you hear a good song, it's a good song. Do you really start thinking, okay, who sang it? What's their ethnicity? What's their background?
Well, no, you don't. But some people are affected when they do find out.
Do you think there can be cultural appropriation in singing? Like Iggy Azalea?
Eminem.
Oh, you're upset with Eminem?
I'm not upset with
But
Eminem. I think
are
Eminem
people
is
upset with
amazing.
Eminem?
Didn't they have like wasn't that like a thing? Like, oh, this white boy.
I don't know. I always thought like Eminem was accepted because
Yeah,
Eminem,
no, I always thought Eminem was accepted, but I'm
I-
saying that there's always gonna be people that talk shit no matter what.
Yeah, I don't know. I always feel like Eminem got like a pass because he was like
Amazing.
he's amazing and he's with Dr. Dre.
Yeah, he was. Yeah.
Whereas like Vanilla Ice, maybe it's like a little bit different. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I do think it's tricky. I do get upset because I do think cultural appropriation can be taken too far. I think you have to respect culture and tradition, but I do think that sometimes they get so much more exposure because someone cares. But I think what you said is interesting. It's like you don't have to take, if you care about the project or you care about a certain story or a certain culture, you don't have to take the leading part. But I don't know. I think.
I mean, you could take a leading part. To be honest, like, As long as the movie is good, I don't really care.
Yeah.
I don't know, you know what I mean? Like, just make the good product. That's it.
Because, I mean, The Rock even said in his Instagram, he said it really well, you know, he was saying he's so excited to be doing this movie, to bring that project to Hawaii, which is going to bring so much money in, give so many jobs to the community and stuff like that. And I feel that's the kind of thing that he can do with his star power, is he can greenlight projects, he can, you know, he can go out, instead of just making another big franchise movie, he's trying to do something, you know, cultural and interesting, you know.
Yeah.
And I think without him, this movie might not get made. So I think it's a good thing what he's doing.
Yeah, of course. But what I'm saying is, which is what I said from the very beginning, like, for me, the unique selling point would not really be
The Rock.
The Rock. It would be having somebody who's actually a direct descendant playing the part, because I don't know. I guess it's because I like documentaries.
Oh, interesting. No, this is not.
I like
Oh
authenticity.
yeah, but you like that, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it's interesting.
Like, it just makes me happy. It's just like OCD, maybe. I don't know.
It's interesting because I heard, I was talking with some of the actors, and I heard that Kevin Spacey had done a movie, like before all the drama, but it had come out in the US like fairly recently, and it was airing at these cinemas, and nobody went.
Oh.
And like 3 people went like across like 6 cinemas.
What?
And it was all because nobody wanted to support a Kevin Spacey movie. And I was like, oh, that's brutal.
Shit.
And apparently the producers were saying, like, you know, there's other people in the movie, like there's like other people you can support, and I feel it's interesting. People, you know, they are affected by these things. They're not just going to go see anything at the movie nowadays. I feel like they are more open to, you know, Crazy Rich Asians proved it. You know, they don't. You can have. It was a huge hit, Crazy Rich Asians.
Yeah.
You can have diversity and it can work.
Yeah, of course.
I think the biggest thing with film as well is there's some opportunities for, let's say, something like Star Wars, right? Where the film is going to be huge anyway. You don't need a star to carry it. I think those ones are the ones where you can give a lot of opportunity to some unknown ones, build some diversity.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah.
But yeah. Yeah.
I'm just thinking about the music industry and how it relates, but I don't think they have the same challenges.
Not really.
Yeah. It's good singers.
Not really, yeah. If you like a song, you like a song. You don't really, really give a shit about who's singing it, to be completely honest.
Yeah.
You know? Because if it's catchy, it's catchy. And if you have, like, your own judgment or your own prejudice, right, soon be kind of, like, stomped out by the majority. Especially if it's, like, one of those that's, like, archaic belief, you know? And
do you go to a lot of gigs in London?
No.
Or where do you find your music? Spotify?
I made friends. I don't know how, but the universe obviously has my back. Just like somehow managed to always bump into music people, and they always like give me music. So I'm always like getting new shit from people. It's cool.
So actually, a little because you were talking about how you were arriving here in London. I thought it was really interesting. You told me that you'd found this place called The Collective, right?
Yeah.
And I thought that was fascinating because I looked it up like as soon as you told me, and it looked amazing because it was especially for like young professionals, like you've done university. It's almost like getting a dorm. Well, you went to university in the UK, right?
Yeah.
So did you have the dorm experience, or were you?
Yeah, I did, but I fucking hated it.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I hate.
And now you've gone back to it,
students.
though.
No, I haven't.
Because they're young professionals.
Fuck no, I've not done it. I don't have to share a kitchen with like 6 other people. I've got my own bathroom. I've got everything is mine. No need.
And the kitchen's yours too? Or you have
yeah,
to share
with the kitchen. There's also bigger kitchens that I can sit in if I really want to use them.
Ah.
You know.
But you've got your own like mini kitchen.
Yeah, own mini kitchen.
So it's your own living space, own kitchen, own bathroom.
Your own. Well, you get a room, you get a bathroom, and then outside's the kitchen, and then outside's the even bigger kitchen. So I've got like, yeah.
Interesting. And
a little mini hob.
And they've got all the services there as well, right? Which is like 24/7 security, and like, they've got gym, laundry.
Yep. gym, laundry, sauna, games room, secret garden, which is like a workspace.
Interesting.
Cinema.
You got your own cinema?
Yeah, terrace.
Big screen. How many people? 50 or like 100?
Yeah, maybe like 50.
That's not bad.
Maybe more.
But what do they screen? Old movies?
No, you can put anything that you want on it. It's got Sky TV, Netflix, everything.
Oh, no way.
Yeah, you can just watch whatever.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah. We've got like a games room as well. We've got like snooker table and
can you do this for like a
table,
month,
PS4.
3 months, or it's like a year contract?
It's like either 9 months or 12 months.
That's not bad.
Yeah, I think sometimes they have 6 months, but it's rare.
It's not bad. So you didn't have to do the traditional apartment hunt.
No, I literally just went online and in 10 minutes I found the place.
Oh, so you didn't see any other apartments either?
No.
You just went straight?
No, I just went straight there, and then as soon as I saw it, I was just like, yep.
Well, you had lived in London before, so you
Well,
knew.
yeah, but still, I mean, it's been like 2.5 years since I've been back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Was there any advice you'd give to anyone moving to London? Would you recommend the Collective? Or
I would recommend the Collective.
There's a couple, aren't there?
If you can afford it, and if you think about it, like if you think that you're going to use the facilities, then obviously go for it because it's well worth the money if you use the facilities. If you don't think you're going to use them that much, then probably get somewhere else. But if you like the social aspect of it, then also think about it because, yeah, like if you want to meet people, it's kind of the best way.
I love you look at me because you know that I'm like really antisocial and you think it'd be good for me.
Yeah.
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 I know that's why you looked at me.
Yeah.
I saw it.
Yeah.
I saw it and I'm like.
Yeah. You're going to have a lot of fun watching this back.
Is there any other advice you'd give or anything that you were like happy about when you got to London? For me, it was definitely the museums. Like I've gone to a bunch of museums and galleries.
Shit, I don't know. I think I'm in my own little bubble. Always have been.
Yeah.
My advice would just be, which is kind of like my life advice, is just don't waste your time. And don't let anybody else waste your time.
How do you mean?
So, like, don't give your time away so freely to other people, and, you know, just because you want to be social and stuff doesn't mean that you should just hang out with anybody. You know, like, be picky with who you give your time to, because in London you can find a lot of cool people.
Yeah.
And, you know, maybe if you're coming from Hong Kong, you know, we have a very limited selection of people who are actually real people and not money-hungry zombies.
Well, you know, I mean, about that, you know, one thing that I loved about England and actually being in Europe was you see a lot of these little like pop-ups, or you have little stores that wouldn't have survived in Hong Kong because of the rent. Yeah, and you get these really interesting people, and, and you get these little groups.
Like,
you get these that like a certain thing.
Like the shops on the canal boats, like these little restaurants, like they have their own canal boat and their little businesses. They're like vegan restaurants.
Yeah, and they're not making huge money, but it's
they're enough
happy.
to sustain them,
exactly.
and they're happy doing it.
Happy. Yeah.
So cool.
Whereas I feel
nice.
rent just really kills that vibe in Hong Kong, because unless it's making a lot of money, it's just not going to be able to. You know, I remember there was this guy that made fresh juice in Discovery Bay in Hong Kong.
I think I know this guy.
And he was absolutely amazing. Yeah, the little shop.
Yeah, the little shop in the
he worked
plaza.
his ass off.
The plaza.
And they kept upping the rent on him. And he was like never making any money, even though he worked his ass off. And he was just so happy, like knowing everyone, making them healthy drinks. And he just put out of business because the rent was too much.
Oh, he's gone now?
Yeah,
that's really sad.
It's sad. But it's those things that I like about London is you meet so many of those people who are just really happy doing their little thing.
Yeah, but that's London though. It's like the place for opportunity. Yeah. I mean, that you and I both know that, like, things that you can do here you can't do in Hong Kong. That's it. Obviously, that's one example of it. Well, but it's like, you know, there's so many things you can do here, and there's the opportunity to be like, if you can live humbly here.
Oh yeah, I mean, we joked about that. A lot of people ask me, you know, London, oh my God, you must be so expensive compared to Hong Kong. And we were saying that actually it's like, especially when it comes to
even rent.
Rent is a given, but I mean fruit and vegetables and just
food is cheaper, rent is cheaper.
Food is cheaper, yeah.
You earn
Well,
more money.
well,
I earn more money.
Well, I mean, that's what we were saying though. That like restaurants in Hong Kong might actually be cheaper. There's so many, like the closeness, easy to get to.
But then hardly any vegan ones. Like, where do we eat?
Sure.
Where do we eat?
But I mean, but I'm talking about in general. Whereas actually where supermarkets in Hong Kong can be pricey.
They're so pricey.
Whereas like in England, if you cook your own food, it's pretty cheap.
Really, really cheap. Yeah.
You get salads, broccoli, eggs.
It's like it's the opposite. It's the other way around. So it's like cheaper to eat out in Hong Kong, and it's cheaper to make your own food here. Which I prefer making my own foods. Is another bonus.
I prefer you slipped.
I prefer making my own food.
She's actually a great cook. Actually, well, just one quick thing. We were talking about. I'm going to say this right first go. Seitan.
Yeah.
I said it right?
Seitan, yeah.
Yeah, because I always say Satan, and it's like no. Now that is made purely from the gluten of wheat.
Vital wheat gluten.
Right? And then you can make steaks and things like that.
Yeah.
So, and the thing is, the texture is amazing.
You can spice it.
It really tastes and looks like meat.
Yeah.
But then I was reading and seeing all these like very because it's gluten.
No, I don't eat it.
You don't eat it anymore.
I don't eat it at all.
But you have before.
I used to make it in the past when I was competing and stuff because like.
But that's because it's good protein and calories.
Or because I didn't want to buy any of the like, fake meats and stuff like that because, it's sort of made of the same thing. It's not,
What's your biggest thing that you get when people find out you're veggie or vegan, and you lift weights? What's where do you get your protein from? Or
people know not to ask me that question.
How are you so strong?
People don't know how to ask. They're just like, oh, like, what do you eat, and all that sort of stuff. Because I told them I was like, I used to be fruitarian and don't even think about asking me about protein, where you get protein from fruits. Because, like, honestly, you just don't fucking eat it. Like.
Unless you smash bananas.
No, I mean, I was having mangoes, I was having bananas, I was having fresh coconut cream. Right.
Coconuts, yeah.
Fresh coconut cream, papaya. But literally was just eating mangoes. And here I'm eating berries. Like I eat berries all the time. I love berries.
But I think you've just always had a very good, healthy relationship with food. I think for me though, becoming veggie.
I didn't have a very healthy relationship.
But you eat a lot of healthy food. Like I didn't used to. Oh really?
Yeah, the way that I became vegetarian was because I was eating like dirty chicken from a chicken shop.
Oh shit.
Yeah.
Damn. Because I was like hardcore meat eater.
Yeah, me too.
I was like char siu
everything. Yeah, char siu fan, char siu chung fan. That was like my favorite dim sum.
Yeah,
Xiaolong bao.
Oh yeah.
But I stopped eating pork, but then I just couldn't stay away from the char siu because it's just so flipping good.
Yeah, it was like barbecue char siu.
Can't have it anymore. I can still make it vegan though, but it's still bad for you, but I can make it. Because it's like,
Because you want that honey.
You want that taste,
honey,
and the chung fa, right? The rice roll is so nice.
Yeah.
But you can have it with the vegan one, because like the Buddhist monks, they make like the vegan char siu.
Yeah, so I've been in the Loving Hut in Hong Kong. You gotta go.
Yeah, Loving Hut. So, but it's the same one, the char siu from that.
Yeah.
And you use that to make the char siu chung fan.
Yeah.
And then it tastes
amazing.
Good, rather than just having a vegetable chung fan, which tastes like shit, because it's just like. It's nothing. It's like cabbage. Mushrooms and carrots. I don't want that.
Because one big thing I noticed if I ate out as a veggie was I'd end up eating a lot of soy. Because a lot of the fake.
You shouldn't be eating soy unless it's fermented. So only tempeh or even natto is really good, or natto or natto, whatever you know how to say it. The Japanese thing.
Yeah. Fermented
soybeans. Only if it's fermented.
But I think it was you that was telling me the reason why is because when soy is ready, it's like all these bugs eat it, so it's impossible to have soy without the pesticides.
Yeah, you need to have it fermented. If it's fermented, then it's fine because it won't have xenoestrogens.
Yeah.
Whatever it's called.
But most soy does.
Every single soy product that isn't fermented does. So tofu's not good, soy milk's not good. I don't have any of that, but I'll have tempeh.
So what milk do you drink? Almond milk?
No, I have oat.
Oat milk.
Mm-hmm.
Good. Have you what else about England? Have you been to any shows, galleries?
No. I've been to
that's because you're spoiled by the
sounds.
collective now.
Yeah, I mean, the thing is, I've been
It's
to like a lot of like
self-sustainable.
inside parties. If that makes sense.
Well, I mean, that's the best parties to go to.
Yeah, so like industry parties, I'll go to parties like where it makes sense, because I don't really like going out, to be honest.
Yeah, but I mean, if you are going to go out, it's better to go out too.
I like chilling at the studio. I like chilling, in the park. I like that sort of stuff.
Yeah.
I don't really like the hustle and bustle of the city. It's not for me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
I like to go in, but I like to get out.
Yeah. And if you don't use the tube that much, because the tube is kind of.
I use the overground a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's £1.50 on the overground.
Little tip, I have said this before. My God, black cabs are so expensive.
I never use them.
Yeah, but I mean, like, if you don't know,
yeah,
you just think black cab. Don't ever use black cab.
Well, I shouldn't really say that because it is their living, but if you don't have the money to spare really to support somebody else's livelihood, then I suggest you use Uber.
Well, the thing is, the thing is, no, I'm not laughing because the cabbies do know London so
yeah, they
well.
do, they do. Yeah.
But they are just so expensive.
Like, they're super expensive. But if you don't care about that, then by all means, like, support the cause. Want to be an original OG.
I just think of you being a ninja with that hair. All right, is there anything that you wanted to cover?
No, I think that's it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, definitely gonna.
We can talk again.
Yeah, definitely gonna have you back.
Yeah.
And if there's anything you wanna ask Amor,
yeah,
then please do hit us up in the comments, and we can prepare it for the next time she's back, because she will be back.
Yeah. So if you got any questions on like what?
I don't know anything.
Fitness. Law of attraction, manifestation.
Whoa, we didn't cover those.
That's how I got my bodybuilding.
You did bodybuilding with.
Okay, so I prepped in 4 weeks. I decided to do the competition like 4 weeks before it actually happened. Mm-hmm. The one where I got my pro card, yeah. So I used a lot of. I had like vision boards, and I put like pictures of like medals and trophies on my mirror.
Who is the athlete that you
Andrea Brazier, and she was wearing like this golden bikini, and then I ended up wearing a golden and pink bikini. That was by chance.
And did you make your own bikini?
No, I didn't. So I didn't actually have a bikini on the day of my competition. That was how like last minute it was.
So I just
borrowed one of my friend's like backup bikinis.
Oh wow.
Yeah, it just luckily fit me.
Wow, so lucky.
Yeah.
And you came second. Boom.
I came second, yeah, and I got my pro card. It was just like...
Would you do it again?
I already did it again, and it kind of fucked me up with my body dysmorphic disorder, which I'm still suffering from.
What does that mean for those who don't know?
You just basically like don't see your body the way it is anymore. Like, you just have some messed up perception of what your body should look like or does look like, or...
And so for you, that's what? That you think you're...
I just always think I'm fat.
I think that's quite common for a lot of people.
Yep. But
But because of the competition, it made it worse.
Because I know what my body used to look like, and when I looked in the mirror a lot, it was when I was competing, and that's when I was like really lean. So I'm used to looking in the mirror and seeing that, and so when I don't see it, it obviously triggers things in my brain.
But like we said earlier, it's not sustainable though. So it's like trying to teach yourself.
It's sustainable to be close to it if you do it the proper way. See, I had like a tendency of always just going straight into it last minute. Mm-hmm. So my first competition I prepped in 4 weeks. My second one I did in like 6 to 8 weeks, which is like nowhere near enough.
You need 10 to 12, right?
Yeah, at least 12. Some girls like do 18 weeks.
So I mean, if you did this, for example,
if I was gonna do it again, I would do it for 18 weeks. Yeah. I would actually just make it really long.
But so people can compute this, the numbers. I remember looking at it as well. Is they say that to lose weight, like sustainably in a healthy way, it should be around 2 pounds a week. and that's fast. So it should be maybe like half to 2 pounds a week, right?
I think a pound a week is alright.
A pound a week is alright. And you can do that by cutting, let's say, 200 calories.
Yeah, 200 calories is definitely, I think, the maximum you should cut off, and 200 over is the maximum that you should do over.
And what I find crazy about that, right, is it's actually such a small margin. It's literally like you could have like all your meals and you're good, and that's all your body needs, and then you have like one Mars bar, and that would be, let's say, like what, 250
Well, it's
calories.
because that's a Mars bar.
Okay.
If you had like a homemade, if you had like a homemade chocolate, nut slice.
So, well, that's a good example, because
like,
I messed up on this one as well. Was there's this big perception that nuts is very healthy for you, which it's good, it's good fats and all of that. But the thing is, nuts are massively calorically dense.
Well, yeah, because they're made up of fat.
Yeah, but a lot of people don't realize, like, if you have like if you finish a bag of nuts, that's a massive amount of calories. And the thing is, of course, the nuts taste good,
yeah, but
so it's easy to keep smashing it.
But if people don't, like, the thing is, like, that shouldn't be even something that you're worried about, because people need to take responsibility of knowing what they put in their bodies and knowing that nuts have a high caloric.
Okay, coach.
No,
but I'm just saying, there's a lot of people that don't.
Yeah, but
I caught my mom the other day. She's like finishing the bag of nuts.
Yeah, but they're not trying to find out what's good for their body and not. So it all starts with the person having to be authentically, like, not authentically, but they have to be like actually genuinely interested for themselves.
But they're listening to the podcast now. We're giving them advice now.
Oh no, yeah, not these people. I'm talking about other people. Yeah.
These people are good people.
So these people. So for you guys that you're actually interested in stuff, obviously, the best way to go about it is to just be mindful of what you're eating. So when you're eating something, you want to know, like, is this like a whole food? Is this a processed food? Obviously, stay away from the processed food because it's full of shit, right?
Yeah, but I mean, all I wanted to really hone in on was that difference between 200 plus and 200 under. And the thing is that literally could be like a handful of nuts that you say no to, that's all you need to cut. You know? It's not like you have to skip a whole meal. It's like you just need to, like, maybe tiny bit of portion control, just cut that out. And it's just a little change that you won't notice that much day to day, but over the long run is massive.
It just depends as well if you're gonna, like, if you need a lot of volume of food. Some people actually thrive on, like, some people struggle to eat too much. So if that's what you're like, then ketogenic is probably good. But if you're not,
what do you mean? There's people that just can't get enough food in.
Yeah, there's people that just don't like to eat. That just don't like to eat volume. But then again, like, if you're saying, like, if you think that maybe, like, if your diet is 150 calories, or 1,500 calories, or...
That's not much. That's...
Well, for a lot of girls, that's what a lot of my female clients would start on, 1,300.
Wow, that's really not much.
Yeah, but they're also small, but,
Wow, that's tiny.
Yeah, but it's enough... and if you also make the food, like, some of my clients would struggle to finish their food because they'd just be like, it's just too much volume wise.
Yeah, interesting.
Yeah.
Interesting, because I remember, because when you start eating healthier, you can actually you just put so much more on your plate because it's not as calorically dense, right?
Exactly.
Like, for example,
food.
if you have broccoli, right? Broccoli doesn't have that much calories, but if you want to have a lot of calories, that's suddenly a lot of broccoli on your plate. And try eating a shitload of broccoli. It's hard.
Cauliflower rice. That's a really nice thing to eat.
I think we're gonna have to do a cook with Amor.
Yeah, just like healthy meals with Amor.
Yeah.
That'd be cute.
It'd be cute. I think we could do that.
Some, like, vegetarian and vegan ketogenic meals, because I think keto is the way to go. Just saying, if you want to burn the fat, intermittent fasting plus keto.
Yeah, so I intermittent fast. We didn't touch on that. I don't know if maybe we do it for the next
just
one.
research intermittent fasting, and we'll talk about it more, because
we'll do the next
we've been
one.
talking for ages now. I need to go.
That's okay. It's just standard.
Okay,
guys. But thank you so much, and we'll definitely get her back, and follow up on what you'd like to hear more.
Definitely.
Okay.
Then we can prepare.
Peace out.